Bryant, I do have to tell you that. Okay, so first off, a couple of housekeeping things. This episode of the podcast, I'm actually going to be submitting for one of my classes
Ooh, very
in
nice.
college. So it's for broadcast and performance. And we're on a little podcast section. So, hello, fellow classmates, fellow peers. Second item of business is that I have run out of food.
Oh no.
Yep, it is. It's a struggle. Okay, but here's the thing. Is it just me, or is like going to the grocery store like the absolute worst experience at this point?
I mean, it depends, Jeremy. I think if you've got the money to spend and, you're buying all this really good food, then I think it's an acceptable experience,
No. I want controversial answers only, Bryant.
Right.
What? It is the worst experience, correct?
Yes. Sorry. Yeah, I forgot my place. It is the worst experience purchasing food. Cringe. Imagine that. I get all my food for free.
Oh my gosh. And then the other people there that have the audacity of being hungry and also needing food for themselves, and not only for themselves, but for other people called their family.
Yeah, clogging
Absolute
up the
cringe.
lines, making me wait to check out, it's the worst.
Exactly. And then the audacity of the supermarkets that price the food.
It's horrible.
And then the government that says, oh, by the way, we need a little bit extra money from you. It's like they're milking us at this point.
They are. They really are, Jeremy.
Natty Wonders, featuring Jeremy and Bryant.
Listen, the man in the cave doesn't care who you look like. He's gonna kill you anyway.
I learned that I need to eat cats and infants, apparently.
Two of the best therapy sessions. You got D&D and Heavy Circles.
Welcome back, everyone, to the hit show, the number one hit fitness podcast show, Natty Wonders, where we're talking about everybody's favorite hobbies, D&D, anime and whatnot, and fitness. We're mixing the two together today, like we always do. But we actually have a pretty sick episode for you guys today. Are you ready for this?
I am.
Excellent. Anyway, but first, real quick, tell us, how's your day been?
Jeremy, I have been great. I just got back from St. George. Went there with my fiance, and some friends. And we went to a little mission reunion that apparently you didn't know was happening. So that's my bad.
Yeah.
I just thought that
no one invited me.
It's not necessarily that like anyone got invited. It just, I think the assumption is everyone's on the Facebook page. Everyone checks their Facebook, which of course you check Facebook. Like everyone our age, like Facebook is all the rage. Everyone's on Facebook.
I love Facebook. I have it on 3 devices.
Yeah, exactly. So sorry, pal. I did think that that you knew about it, but I should have checked. That's my bad. Anyway,
and you know what? It's fine because like I said before this episode started, like it's always nice to get an invite just so I can still reject it. Because it makes me more Sigma that way, I guess.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I felt really cringe just saying that. Anyway, speaking of cringe, we're going to be moving on to our first segment, which we're kind of moving Gym Talk Slander to first, break the ice a little more. We talk about fitness stuff, get that out of the way before we get on to our next topic. Are you ready for this?
Gym Talk Slander.
That's right, Gym Talk Slander.
Oh yeah, this is my favorite part of every single episode, I tell you what.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, shoot, the rest of the episode's gonna suck then.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, every part is my favorite, Obviously.
But, keep listening to the end, guys. But, yeah, so first off, we have, what I call a little bit of cringe talk, but at the same time, this guy does make some pretty good points. Sift through it, shall we?
Sweet.
Bro is using the easy bar to bench. There is nothing easy about this bar. I just bought it because of the grips. They give you a way better way to lift it, which makes it a really
Yikes.
versatile option in the gym. It is still a bar and I still have to lift it, so I don't think it makes a hindrance on my gains or anything. If anything, I think it gives me more potential for more reps. Since the grips are
Well,
way
he's
better
got a
than this.
wagon.
At the
He's
end
got a
of the
little
day,
cart.
Yeah, yeah.
So just lift things how you want to lift them.
No.
It's just like I mean, like, sure, I guess, but he's like, it just gives me like more range to do more reps. It's like, well, but like, why?
That's why it's called the easy bar.
Yeah,
'cause
it's like
easy.
that's the point. It's like, yes, yeah, you're moving weight, but like, again, it depends on like what you want to do. Like, homie looks like super small, like super tiny, so I would not take any advice from him at all about working out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like something that is a pretty big thing about the fitness community is that you never take advice from someone smaller than you.
Yeah,
Like
and like that's not even.
if you
Sorry, go ahead.
say
Sorry.
what? No, go ahead. Go
All
ahead.
right, I was just saying, like, and it's not even just like a pride thing.
Hierarchy thing.
It's just like if what you've been doing is working better than what they're telling you to do, then don't stop what you're doing. Obviously,
Yeah.
if what they're doing is like way better and they have better gains from it, then sure, like you can take a look at it and be like, hey, maybe I would like to try this out. You know, give it a fair shot. But like if some small dude comes up to me, he's like benching like 135 and he sees me like struggling with 205, he's like, nah, bro, this is how you got to do it. I'm going to look him in the eyes and say, dog, if you don't get out of my face, I'm going to drop a 45 on your foot. All right. Like, because that's how it is. It's like, come on, bro. Like,
Yeah.
seriously? Really?
Like I'm not gonna go up to someone who's like a massive guy in the gym who might be using too much momentum on the dumbbell on the bicep curl, right?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
it's
go
like,
up to him and be like,
I'm
"Hey
not gonna
pal,
say
you should probably use a
anything.
little less momentum," even though his biceps are like the size of my head.
Yeah, it's like,
I'm not gonna
there's no
do
way.
that.
No way.
That's just dumb.
Yeah.
Not to mention, we have one comment here where it says, "Why is no one talking about how he brought a whole egg cart to the gym with 3 things in it?"
Yeah, it's like, bro, just like, what are you even doing at that point?
If I brought my own cart, okay, now this gym looks pretty small, but I'm just saying if my gym on campus didn't have an easy bar available for bench press, I'm not going to bring a whole cart with 2 25-pound plates and an easy bar
Yeah.
just to then roll it out like a doof. I'm gonna get beat up if I do that.
Like, and
So-
rightfully so. I mean, this guy, I don't know, like, I don't know, man. Like, why would you do that? Why even bother? Just get a duffel bag.
You just carry around a whole duffel bag with like a easy bar sticking out. I'm sorry, but
Or just don't use an easy bar. Just use less
Alright,
weight
so-
on a normal bar.
exactly, and then build up strength that
Yeah.
way.
Like, you'll be fine. Like, anyone can use a normal bar. A normal bar is like, what, 15, 20 pounds? Like, it's not that heavy. Easy bar is like 5. You're not cutting that much off. Because he has an easy bar, and he's also put like 10 pounds onto it. So you may as well just use a normal bar with 5s on it, and then you're fine.
Exactly. And plus, this guy looks like he would recommend lifting gloves.
Probably.
Please don't use lifting gloves. Get calluses on your hands.
Ah,
They're a great snack as well, by the way.
yes. The calluses or the gloves?
The calluses. Honestly, eat your gym gloves if you have them. If you bought gym gloves, eat them right now.
You
Send
could
us a video.
boil
if you eat
them in like a nice stew.
Yeah. Because just maybe, once you eat those lifting gloves, you'll have regained your man card. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, well, first off, before we move on to the next one, I do want to say some positive things about this user, where he was saying just lift weights. which we can make fun of how he lifts weights, but he at the end of the day he does make a good point where it's like if you're just lifting weight, then I think you can make progress. I mean, you're not going to make insane progress, but you will make progress.
I think that's true, and I think it depends on what you're trying to go for, because a lot of people don't understand like about rep ranges and stuff like that. So what he's talking about, fine, that works if you're just trying to get toned, whatever. Like it works. Personally, for me, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get stronger and I'm trying to get bigger. So that means I need to decrease my rep count, and that doesn't mean the amount of reps that I'm doing. It's the amount of reps that I can do. So if I'm lifting, if I'm lifting 135 for 8 reps or 2 reps, it's not going to change anything. I need to push up weight until I'm lifting where I max out at 2 reps at a certain weight. Like for me right now, that's like 195. You know, I'm maxing out at those 2 rep range, right? And so it's not that heavy. I need to get up more. I haven't increased at all in a while, but it's like that's not what I'm going for. So if you're going for that, that's fine. Use the easy bar. Put 10s on it for some reason. Like, who cares, right? Like it'll work. Yeah.
Like this guy might, his goals might just be to get tone, which in that case,
that's fine.
Go for it.
Go for it. But don't sell it as though you're like gonna get swole from that. Like it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's just not how it works.
Anyway, moving on. We have this next one, which I think is really interesting. It caught my attention real quick. Oh gosh, I should have read the names before this, but we have at Aubergine Avenger. I think this might have been like from a podcast, but this bodybuilder here, he gives us some really interesting advice and maybe a new training technique that we might have to try out. Are you ready for this?
Yes, sir. Let's watch.
All right.
And the thing that I found instrumental to getting me a lot thicker, a lot fuller, and a lot rounder in my muscle was actually extreme stretching. Please research.
I was about to get steroids,
stretching. It will explain it in depth. But basically, after you've trained your muscle, then you will perform an extreme 45 to 60 second stretch. That usually means putting the muscle in a stretch position, putting force on it. So like if you're doing chest, the typical one would be to have yourself in a dumbbell flying sort of position, with the chest open, stretching for 60 seconds with as heavy weight as you possibly can use. This I found was incredible, but I don't know for every body part. And I noticed that 1, the muscle started to look a lot fuller. 2, I was actually getting stronger. And 3, it allowed me to break past the plateaus. And we're talking here when I was at the latter stages of bulking, where I really had to fight hard to gain that last bit of muscle.
All right.
Yeah,
so, I thought that was really interesting. I mean, this is not like a new thing that this guy came up with, but this is something that Mike Mentzer, and one of the bodybuilders of all time. That sounded bad. One of the golden age bodybuilders, I believe. Mike Mentzer. Hang on, didn't he like snort like a line of cocaine before a set?
You know, that sounds kind of familiar.
Yep. So Mike Mentzer, this is the guy that that trained a surprisingly low amount a week for like most bodybuilders, but he would do each set till absolute failure. Like he would pass out, and I mean like, and to hype him up, he would do drugs. And Mike Mentzer would also said something along the lines of this. But I'm pretty sure Mike Mentzer is dead now.
Rip. Sounds like a legend, I gotta say.
It might be a legend, but I'm pretty sure it has been confirmed by him in past interviews. Dang. Okay, well, this guy was pretty legendary. But yeah, extreme stretching. What do you think of it?
I think it's a good idea. Like, I'm not exactly sure I'm not exactly sure what it would change, like physiologically. But I am open to researching more of the science behind it. I think it definitely has the ability to be good. That like there's definitely that possibility that it could work, and I want to see it work because it seems like interesting, but I'm just not sure exactly like how it works.
Now, here's the funny part. We've gone from saying we're not going to take advice from people that are smaller than us, but then we have this guy, which pretty sure he's on the steroid use. I mean, look at him. Look at the veins popping out of that. That is insane.
Yes.
Most likely not natural. I would also say don't take advice from people that are on gear.
Yeah, that's generally a fatal flaw that I think a lot of people fall for. It's not the greatest
Yep.
idea.
Because it's like, oh wow, I'm gonna look like this guy who has a totally not natural physique, and then you're just gonna get down on yourself when it doesn't happen as fast as you expected, or it doesn't happen to the extent that you expected, and then you're like, what the crap, man? I guess I need to start snorting cocaine before my frickin' sets,
Yeah,
and
please
then it's
don't
a
do
gateway
that.
drug from there.
Yeah, yep, there you go. Please don't snort cocaine
That's
in between
that's
your
that's
sets.
how kids that's how kids start, man.
That wait,
But
Jeremy's
no, I'm
spreading fake
kidding.
news.
But yeah, I would be willing to try this one out as well. I mean, if some golden age bodybuilders have been saying that, even though they were on a lot of gear, I do think for the most part, if they've researched enough about taking gear, then they probably researched a lot about actual exercises as well,
Hopefully,
to
hopefully.
look their best. So take it with a grain of salt. You can try it if you've got time at the gym. Do it consistently and tell us what you think. I might start trying that, especially
Yeah, please let us
like just
know if it
immediately.
works for you. Like, we would like to be able to have a good sample size. The both of us, we'll test it out when we get the chance to, and just kind of maybe report back if we get some feedback here.
Yeah. And I'm pretty open to this as well because I've kind of also hit a bit of a plateau. Um, and so that's why I've been training up, or I've been mixing up my training style to just now be hitting, like what you said, lesser and lesser reps each time, mainly because I'm going up in weight, and I'm hoping that that'll get me over the plateau as well with eating a lot more. Moving on, we're going to go on to the next segment of the show. Thank you guys so much for listening to Gym Talk Slander, but you're not going to want to miss this next segment, trust me. This next segment is
Long rest stories.
Long Rest Stories. Ooh, what a good freaking stinger for that. Thank
Yes,
you, Brian, for
sir.
making that
Yeah,
stinger.
no problem. It's my pleasure.
All right, Brian. Who wants to go first? Do you want me to go first, or do you want to start this off?
You know, Jeremy, I think yours is a little more serious, and so I can bring a little more levity, I think, with mine, because mine is ridiculous.
You know what? I was about to mention the mafia story, but I think I'm going to mention this one instead. We'll do the mafia. We'll save the mafia story for another time. But imagine this. This is the current campaign that I'm playing, and this was like our third session. And this is the part of the campaign where, have you ever had that part of your campaign where it just it, like the character dynamic just clicks, the the you like everyone gets invested in the story, and it all just kind of it's a moment of like clicking where it's like everyone knows their goals, everyone is motivated, and it's where the game I feel like actually starts.
I definitely
You know what I
have.
mean?
I definitely have, but it doesn't happen super often.
It doesn't, and that's the problem. This is the out of all the games I've run, this is the second time I feel like it clicked. I felt it click really, really strongly. Um, and in this, they were in the swamps of Quabara in Eberron, and they had just their job was to find a crashed airship in the bogs, and it was a nasty place. I made it full of sulfur. It was terrifying. Um, and like these pirates have shot down the ship, and I mean it was all airships, and they're lizard folk that took the shipment. So they find the crashed airship and they fight some lizard folk, but they run off with most of the shipment. And they eventually team up with the pirates that shot down this airship, got on their airship, and flew to the lizard folk lair and teamed up to fight them and to split the cargo so that they can get a lot of money, a lot more money from it.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they found out that these crates had adamantite bars in them.
Ooh.
And so they were like, "Whoa, that's a lot of money." So they decide to do that and they team up. They're fighting through the lizard folk lair. I mean, it's a huge battle and they're using spells. I mean, it's awesome. But then they get to a part where they descend into this ancient city, like this ancient city sewer system where there's like little rivers crossing through this area. And imagine for a moment this big grid of just like straight hallways with little corridors connecting each hallway and it creates this grid pattern essentially.
Yeah.
And it's like an ancient sewer system where it's like really narrow corridors, and each hallway is about 30 feet from the next room, where then there's more 30-foot corridors that lead to other rooms. And they're looking around and they see some levers on the wall. Now, they were pretty hesitant of the levers. They found like about 5 of them. And they saw that at the end of one hallway was a single gated door, right? Like it's just straight bar door. And then at the other end of that hallway, there was 5 gate doors. They started to realize something, and it started to click for them.
Hmm.
So none of them actually hit the lever. I had to get a lizard man that was following them to hit a lever. And when it did, one of those 5 doors opened, but also the single door opened as well. And this is the part of the encounter where it just lined up perfectly. I kid you not. They were all standing in a straight line
Uh-oh.
because they heard something behind that single gated door. And I describe as this triceratops with like metal welded to the front of it, just comes charging out of there, and it runs over all of them. They have to all make strength checks. If they fail, they get picked up and slammed to whatever this thing stops, or when it hits a wall, and they take more damage from it. And it was terrifying. It opens up with a bang, like half of everyone's HP just disappears. And this triceratops only runs in straight lines. It can turn. It turns in a single room and then runs in a straight line until it stops or hits a wall. It can only stop in rooms, and it cannot turn around in corridors. So, and this thing can run as fast as it wants. I mean, it like steamrolled them, picked one up and like carried them for 120 feet until it hit a wall.
My goodness.
Like, it was terrifying. So, yeah, so it was pretty much kind of like a game of Pac-Man where they were running, dashing throughout this place, trying to like dodge it, trying to hide from it. And I mean, it was terrifying because they can only dash 60 feet,
Yeah.
which is 2 rooms. Like, they can move to 2 rooms. But this thing can run as fast as it wants in a straight line.
Sheesh.
So here's another thing that made it more interesting. From the front, when they tried to hit it, someone rolled pretty well. They were like, "Does a 22 hit?" And I looked at them and I said, "No, it doesn't."
It's like, oh.
Yep. So, take this encounter because it was amazing. They realized that from the front where it was like heavily armored, it was a 25 AC. From the back, it was only like 14 AC. So they were pretty much what I had in mind was that they would go around it after it charges and then like hit it from behind to
Yeah.
deal a lot of damage to it. And then if it like turned around, then they would have to scatter and run. And then it would choose like which way to go.
Yeah. They'd have to basically play like a matador, like a bull killer
Yep.
kind of thing, like with the red, like olé, and then like get out of the way real quick.
Exactly. But they didn't they actually did that at the end, but they didn't try to kill it. They realized that once they heard it had 25 AC, that probably scared them so much that they're like, okay, we're putting this thing back in its pen.
Yeah.
So they had one character go over to the lever to like close it, to hear a signal to close it. And then the other one was going to let it charge at them. And then he took the dodge action and he had to roll a certain like he had to roll pretty high to dodge out of the way as it like ran by him. So
Mhm.
it was pretty intense.
Bruh.
The character by the lever got actually downed by some lizard folk. The character that was doing like the little ole ole like to the bull, he dodged out of the way, but just barely. And then it was intense because they had to do it all over again because the person went down at the lever. The Triceratops got out, and they had to circle him around all over again to do the same thing. So
Sheesh. Oh no.
it was intense, but they did actually accomplish it. And by then the pirates that they were working with, they got the shipment back in the next room. They fought off some more lizard folk, and then that's when the brigade appeared. And well, someone got executed in that.
Rick.
But I'm planning on doing a campaign diary like separate series on this podcast
Mm-hmm.
where I go over this whole thing. I go over my notes, teach you guys and whatnot. So I will reveal who got executed when I do that.
Very nice.
How does that sound?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's hear your story real quick.
Yes, sir. All right, Jeremy. So this story is actually a funny one because you were there for it.
Oh, I was?
Yeah, you were. At least I think you were. Maybe not. I don't remember.
If this is the one that I'm thinking of, I don't think I was there for that.
Oh, that's so sad. Anyway, so
I know.
when we were on the mission, we were training these new guys, right? And so his name is Logan. Is the guy that this story is about. And
Let's go, Logan.
yeah, Logan is a hilarious guy. Super funny. But he's like one of those guys that's funny like when he doesn't try to be. And he's just kind of an innocent guy. But we'd started playing D&D, and the guy I was training, Tyler, he got into it pretty like a lot. And Logan, he was into it. He liked it. But I don't know, he just like wanted more freedom. So one day he was like, guys, we should do a one shot, but like you let me DM. And we were like, okay. He's done like 3 sessions total, and I was DMing for all of them, right? So it's like, okay, whatever. He's like, I got a great story, guys. Just trust me, okay? And we're like, all right, fine, whatever. Sounds good. So I'm trying to remember. I don't remember who I was. Like, I just picked some like. Oh, we used the same characters that were used for that Halloween one shot. That's what it was. So I was like a warlock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was the warlock. I think Seth was like his rogue or whatever, and then Tyler switched to being a turtle. So like his was the only character that changed. Yeah. So he switched to being a turtle, and it was just so weird because like so we pull up to this this lady's house, right? And we find out it's another turtle. So right off the bat, there was just like this weird sexual tension between Tyler's character and like the lady character that was our host, because
Oh no.
turtles are like super horny, and they just mate for life and then die basically, and so
No, wasn't Tyler's turtle character also just like looking for a mate because he was like super old and was about
Yes.
to die, and he's
Yes.
like, I need a lineage.
Yeah, that was literally his backstory. That was like the only piece
He's,
of
like, super
backstory.
depressed.
Yeah, he was super sad. Tyler was just like he did so good too because he was new as well. But he role played so well. He was just depressed the entire time. He's like, okay, I guess we'll go. He was like Eeyore. But
Yeah.
so we pull up to this house, and the turtle lady, I don't remember her name. It was some random name. She's like, "Hi, so my son is acting a little bit weird. Will you guys like check on him, whatever?" And I was like, "Okay, sure." We were all just like, "Okay, sure, whatever." And we just like stay in this house with this random lady, and so we stay up in the middle of the night. Or no, like we tried to be like, okay, well, we're just gonna like sleep in this one room outside of the son's room. And then Logan was like, no, you guys have to sleep in different rooms. And we were like, what? Okay, fine, I guess. And so he like manufactured like things that would have been totally easy to deal with if we were like together, but we were by ourselves. And so he like I think in my room, like, so the problem with the sun was that he would like turn into like a spider person at nighttime and like be super creepy and weird, and like the mom was like haunted or whatever. And the sun isn't a turtle, by the way. It was like a human sun. So I have no idea how like that happened, but
What?
maybe he was adopted. I don't remember. It was a convoluted story. But like the sun like turned into a spider and like walked through a vent and like attacked me in the middle.
Invented
Oh, yeah, it was kind of sus. Anyway,
Among Us.
anyway, so you like, I ran out there and tried to wake everybody up, and the sun disappeared, and nobody believed me. And then like, what happened? Oh, I think like he would just make us roll like for random things, like Tyler. He was like, I go to the bathroom, and and Logan was like, roll to open the door, and we were like, what? What do you mean roll to open the door? So he was like, no, you got to roll to open the door. We're like, fine, whatever. And so he failed to get out of the bathroom. He failed, and Logan wouldn't let him retry the skill check. So we're all just out there like fighting the sun, and and Tyler's character, the turtle, is just stuck inside the bathroom trying to get out. It was just like what on earth? And then it was just dumb. What were you saying, Jeremy?
I was about to say, before like a first time DM, like, how do you rate that? I mean, it seems like he's making some of the classic blunders, but overall, it sounds like a fun time. I'm not gonna
It
lie.
was so funny, but it was just like, he's like, no, you can't do that. Like, why can't I? What do you mean I can't do that? Yes, I can.
My man wanted more freedom,
Yeah.
so he chose to be the enslaver.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, just like the last battle, we like, what happened? Oh, like we like wrestled with the sun and like tackle him out the like window from the second story and like started fighting him downstairs. And all of like our attacks were like, they weren't doing anything. They were missing and stuff. And Logan was like,
Mhm.
because Logan was like getting frustrated because we weren't like able to kill him. And he's like, you're not going to do any damage attacking his like head or anymore. Like he's already been damaged. And we're like, what? He's like, yeah, you have to attack his legs. And we're like, what do you mean we have to attack his legs? Like, we can't just kill him? Like, no, you have to kill each one of his legs. And we're like, oh, fine. So we did. And we just like attacked all the legs. And like, you killed him. Yay. We were just so like off put. It was like 2.5 hours, 3 hours of this story. And it was just so all over the place. Like, how I described it was basically like how it happened linearly, like start to finish. There was no.
Oh, actually,
Yeah, there was very, very little in between. There was like some weird like horny action between Tyler's character and the mom, but like that was pretty much it.
jeez.
That was it.
Wait, so pretty much there was like no flavor or like setting the scene or anything. It was like,
Well,
all right,
there
so
was, but it was based on like a video that that Logan showed us like a while ago. Before that, and so like we all knew kind of the context already. So he was like, it's set in like that house. So he didn't really have to describe a ton. It was just like basically some like old haunted house kind of thing, but like
gotcha.
just like, well, normal house, but like haunted, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was not a lot of like
Damn.
art to it. He like tried really hard to like tie in the story, but the only story he tied in was like horny turtles. That's pretty much it. And then,
Oh, jeez.
yeah,
I don't like this term anymore. I don't like horny turtles.
you shouldn't. That's a normal reaction to have, Jeremy.
It sounds pretty cursed. I'm not gonna lie.
It's cursed. But yeah, like that's just like it was so fun, but also like one of the worst games I've played.
Hang on, that sounds like fun. I wish I was there.
It was really fun. I wish you were there too.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing that good old long rest story.
Yes, sir.
That's all we have for today. Oh gosh, I almost threw up. Okay, well that's all we have for you today. And what can we learn from this episode, Bryant?
Don't listen to people that do gear, unless that thing that they're telling you to do does not involve doing gear. And don't let super new people DM until they've played for a while.
I would also agree. I'd say eat your lifting gloves and take encounters that we tell you because they're fun encounters, I promise.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not the one that actually, you know what? I would run that one. I'd take that.
Yeah.
I'd take the new guy's encounter. I know the guy. I think for a first time DM,
It was
I
good.
think that was pretty good.
It was good.
But yeah, definitely a lot of rookie mistakes. Anyway, don't make those rookie mistakes. I'm pretty sure you can find out which ones they were. But we're so glad that you listened to this little project of ours, and I want you to have a great rest of your day. Get those gains. Don't take gear. Don't take meth before your sets. And we'll see you next week. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, adventurer. Looks like you made it to the end of this episode. Again, we're so grateful that you listened to this project of ours. And hey, if you enjoyed, why not share your favorite episode? It helps us out, and when you hit share, you will always roll a natural 20 on your first roll. To spice up the deal, we'll even give you a nice, juicy PR that you've always been dreaming of. Want to play a bigger part in the adventure? Follow us on Instagram at Natty Wonders. Send us your best Gym Talk slanders, and we'll review them on the show. Have a great day.